photography wasn't my job at all. It was, I was an intelligence collection guy. But my hobby that I picked up in high school was photography, and I took it with me into the Army. And what I started doing was taking my cameras with me to the field when we would go out training. This was before Desert Shield, Desert Storm. Most people think of Desert Storm as being like this air war followed by an incredibly short period of people surrendering before we crossed into the border. And during that 6-week period, we were running, like my team and others like it in the 82nd were running reconnaissance and counter-reconnaissance missions on the Iraqi border nightly, and having enemy contact all throughout that 6-week period. So it wasn't 4 days. It was closer to like seven weeks after 7 months of being deployed. So it wasn't as short as people think it was. The perception that they have and the reality are very different. Gunfight in the middle of the night kind of stuff. My team received artillery fire at one point. The whole deal, rounds going off, the whole deal. None of that. Nobody knows about any of that happening, but it did. And then when I got out, got a job in corporate America, worked 15 hours a day, drive back home, drink, pass out, repeat. And I did this for like 13 years. And then eventually it got to a point where I was like, this is killing me. I'm making a lot of money. I had a house on the front range of the Rockies. I had 2 cars, wife, 4 kids. But at night, I was going home and sitting in my basement and drinking beer and looking at old photographs going, what is going on? And it came to the realization, yeah, I'm successful, but in reality, when I'm alone, I'm just sitting there drinking by myself and staring off at the distance and getting lost in thought. I'm like, I got to stop this. So I stopped drinking. And that's when this stuff came out. So when I took that lid off, that's when 25 years of suppressing this stuff came out. I had a couple of boxes in my basement, old boxes that had photographs from Bosnia and Desert Shield and Desert Storm sitting there for years. And the only way I could look at them was when I was drinking. So it was very difficult for me to face what was in those photographs and to deal with it. My PTSD kicks up in August, which is the anniversary of when we deployed, and in February, which is the anniversary of the ground war. Round about that time, I'm like, hey, I got these pictures. And in the past, if I would have posted them, nobody would have cared. But now I got 20 guys from my platoon who are on Facebook. Maybe they'll care. And so I dug those pictures out and I said, hey guys, remember this. Eventually, a friend of mine said, you need to do a Kickstarter project and make these into a book.